What's going on, folks? I feel like it's been a super long time since I've done a video, like months. But I've had a lot going on, like life wise, and I kind of wanted to do a fun video. I actually might upload a couple other videos. I got the house to myself, and I just came back from the range and didn't take any footage like a dumbass, but that was a therapy day. So I didn't want to do any video. That day was for me, not for y'all. So forgive me. Maybe next time I'll take some video. Um, but I'm gonna do a couple videos today just on some of the stuff I have, and I wanted to start with this goofy bitch here. Um, Something fun, man. This is my SKS. This is my Chinese SKS, and yeah, man. I bought this last year. Um, People, that know me and know the gun, like the kind of guns I have, didn't think this would be something in my wheelhouse, but yeah, man, owning one of these is owning a piece of history, and I just think that's dope as fuck. You can see it's all banged up, and the wood's got all these nice notches in it and stuff like that. This was actually issued to somebody. You know what I mean? Somebody actually carried this, and I just think that's cool as fuck. Um, Quick kind of background on these. When I talk to some of the old timers and stuff that also have these, they'll tell you in the 60s, 60s and 70s, you could go to a gun shop and get one of these for like less than $100. Like they were giving them away. Um, if it was over $100, it usually came with like a case of ammo, and like to me, that's just cool as fuck. But nowadays, everybody's grabbing guns because of the state of the world, and people feel like they need something to keep them safe. And is this the best option? I can't tell you yes or no. What I will say is if you're looking at learning how to shoot, or if you're just looking for a just standard hunting rifle, this is not a bad way to go. The SKS is battle proven. Um, you've got Russian models, Yugoslavian models, Chinese. Um, at least those are the three that I know of. I'm not sure if anybody else makes these models, but um, yeah, it's solid, man. I've taken this guy out about 3 times, and out the gate, no adjustments or anything like that. I was able to hit the steel from maybe like 50, 60 yards. So it was like, I didn't mess with the I didn't mess with it at all. I didn't do any adjustments to it. I mean, just out the gate, just took it out just to see what it could do. Um, the first time took it out though was a bit questionable. As you can see, I got these two polymer mags here, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, just like I said, being a history nerd, just kind of looking at the state of affairs around the world, and I remember just kind of reading up on child soldiers in Africa, and you always see them holding AK-47s, and every once in a while you'll see a picture of a little 12-year-old kid holding one of these. And yeah, again, it's battle proven. Um, I'm an AK guy. Not to shit on the AR-15 or anything like that. It feels like you have to love one or the other. I like both, but I mean I own more AKs than I do ARs. So, but yeah, with this, it's shoot 7.62 by 39. So if I buy a case of AK ammo, like I can load this bitch up and take it out and have fun with it. And I let my son shoot it. Last time we went to the outdoor range, and he knows the basics of rifle shooting, and he was able to hit some targets from pretty good range with this just out the gate. So yeah, like I said, for a hunting rifle, I don't know if this would be a good home defense rifle or anything like that. There are videos on people who say they own these for self defense. I'm not here to say whether that's a good thing or bad thing. I'm just talking about me. And I just wanted to own this because it's, like I said, it's a piece of history. Sometimes, you'll get these and it has what's called trench art on it. Somebody might have their girlfriend's name like etched into the stock or something like that, or their wife's name or their boyfriend's name, because there were women out there busting guns too. So yeah, it's just cool as fuck to me that like I kind of feel like I own a piece of history, and you can tell that this was probably issued to somebody. It's not in pristine condition. It's got bumps and bruises and stuff like that. The wood is in as banged up and notched up as it is. It's still solid as hell, and there's a ton of these in surplus. And what they do is they pack it in this stuff called cosmoline, which is like this thick. It's almost like brown Vaseline, and they pack it in this stuff to preserve the wood and to preserve the metal so it doesn't rust, and to preserve the wood so it doesn't rot. So, kind of the rites of passage of buying an SKS is cleaning it when you get it. Getting all that stuff off, and I'll give you the quick rundown of what I did to get all of that stuff off. But I disassembled it. Like I said, didn't really know anything about it. Just got a good deal on it. Thought I was gonna clean it up and actually resell it. I was gonna, clean it up, try to get the metal together and get the wood back together, and I was gonna try to resell it. Upsell it, and make a little profit. But after I cleaned it up, I didn't want to do that. I actually kind of liked it, so I kept it. But if you end up getting one of these, I'll tell you what I did to get all of that grease, because I mean it's packed in this stuff. It's in every single nook and cranny of this weapon. So I took it apart, got a tub, like a big, like kind of big plastic tub from Walmart. Uh, Filled it up halfway with boiling hot water. The rest of it was this stuff called mineral spirits, and I just let all the metal parts sit in that for about a day. And after a day, the water was brown. You had all these little oil. You could see with the oil and all that stuff, the cosmoline was breaking up from the metal. And even after just letting it sit in that day, and I mean, like maybe every couple hours, I would just pour more boiling water in there, just really trying to get that stuff to break up. And after a day of that, it's still, I would say I got a good percentage of, maybe about 75% of the cosmoline out of the metal parts. After that, I put some mineral spirits in a spray bottle, took a toothbrush, sprayed it into every nook and cranny of this metal, and just hit it with that toothbrush and really kind of got it out. And then after doing that, put it back in that tub, hit it with that boiling hot water, and poured more mineral spirits in it and got the last bit of it. And even now, like I said, I bought this last summer. Even now, I still find little pieces of cosmoline stuck in this thing. So, I mean, it's just caked in the shit, but not enough to be a headache. Like I said, I feel like I got like 95% of it out. Now, the wood is a different story. What I did with the wood was sprayed it down with that mineral spirits. Like I said, it was just covered in that grease, that cosmoline. I sprayed it down with mineral spirits, wrapped it in a plastic bag, and like I said, it was the summertime. I just put it on my back deck and just let the sun cook it for a day. And every couple hours, I would go out there and just wipe the excess from the top of the wood, because it was basically just bubbling up to the surface, because it was like caked inside of the wood. So yeah, so every couple hours I would just wipe that cosmoline off, hit it with more mineral spirits, put it back in the bag, put it back out on the deck, and I did that for a day. Still didn't get all the cosmoline out. So I tried a different approach. The next step was again spraying it down with that mineral spirits, and then I took a blow dryer. I've seen people use a heat gun, and you just go over the wood, with that heat gun, and just get that cosmoline to come up to the surface, and you wipe it off. Hit it with the heat gun, let that cosmoline come up, you wipe it off, and you do that. So some people just do one thing. Like I've seen people do the, wrap it in a plastic bag, and that's what they do to get it out, and they just do that over the course of the next few days. I tried everything that I saw on YouTube. So like I said, I did the plastic bag for one day. I did the heat gun the next day. And the last thing that actually worked really well was I took the stock and hit it with mineral spirits, let it really soak into the wood, and I put it in my dishwasher and I ran it on a hot water cycle twice and really let that hot water and steam get in there and bleed that cosmoline out of the wood, and that seemed to do the trick. It dried the wood out considerably, just because of the heat and water and moisture and stuff like that. So like, I mean, this wood was damn near white when I was done with it. But I knew I could get the color back by just really working into the oil. So after I got the good portion of that cosmoline out, like I said, I got 95% of it out, and that wood turned white. I started getting a little scared, so I was like, all right, I need to, get this oil. I mean, get some oil back into this wood to get it looking natural again. So you use boiled linseed oil, which you could get from Home Depot or Lowe's. Can't remember how much it cost, but I got me a pretty good sized bottle. And I just went to work on working that oil into the wood, and the color came back. It had a nice sheen to it. It's a little dull now. I actually just took it out because I was watching some videos of some guys actually shooting competition with the SKS, which I thought was pretty cool. And I was like, man, I haven't taken mine out in a while. So brought it out. Wood was a little dried up, so I kind of cleaned it back up. So I gave it a little TLC. And yeah, but it wasn't a hard process. I mean, but that's part of owning it. Like I said, it's like a rites of passage with owning the SKS, is getting all the cosmoline out of it first. And like I said, talking to the old timers that have these, they'll tell you like, oh, like I did this and I did that. And a lot of them still have them. You know what I mean? If I got this freaking 50 years ago for less than $100, I'm not selling that shit. Like, so, a lot of them still have them and they still shoot them. And again, it's solid. So I would say, like, if you're wanting to learn like the basics of rifle shooting, it's kind of like, do you want to learn? It's like, damn, like, do you want to learn how to drive a stick on, a car from the 1980s, or do you want to learn how to drive a stick on a car from 2022? I'm not going to tell you which one is right, but my method of thinking is I want to learn like the shittiest way, the shittiest way possible, and then work my way up into like more modern techniques. You learn on the super like old basics and get those down. And then when you introduce more, technology into it, then you're just like, oh, like I don't have to do this anymore. And it kind of advances you a little bit. So that was my mode of thinking. So when I bought this, again, I was still a pretty new shooter. I still consider myself a new shooter. I'm not a professional. I'm still learning my way through this, but I'm decent. You know what I mean? But it's a fun rifle to shoot. If you look at pictures of these, and like I said, like, when I was looking at pictures of child soldiers and kind of like who used these through history, one thing you'll notice that's different about those pictures versus mine is that it also has a fixed magazine right here that holds 10 rounds. What you do is you pull the bolt back, lock it in. Comes on these things called strip clips, kind of like a bow shaped. It's like a bow shaped little metal piece, and the rounds are actually on those pieces. Like the little butt piece of the round actually sits inside of the strip clip. So this piece right here sits inside a strip clip. You load it in and you actually just push it down into the magazine, and you get 10 rounds, right? 10 rounds for me, yeah, it's enough, but I'm not with it. I need a little bit more. So that's why I went out and got these. So these are Pro Mag magazines. They're called duckbill magazines. I've seen them in 20 round. I think Tapco makes a 20 round, a 30 round, and like a 35. Pro Mag also makes, I think, a 30 and 35. So so I bought these. These are Pro Mag models, and if you know anything about firearms and stuff like that, Pro Mag usually sends folks running. But believe it or not, when I bought these, I also bought two metal magazines, and I can't remember who the manufacturer was, but the metal magazines just look cooler. Like they kind of look more like the AK magazines, and just definitely cooler looking. Just with the age of the gun, the way it looks, the metal magazines, just it's a cooler look. And that's for me. That's all. That's all it is. They just look cooler, right? Didn't have the best of luck with the metal magazines. There are videos out there that show you how to modify them to work with these, and your miles still may vary. These Pro Mags, out the bag, out the box, or whatever, hooking them up, they work like a charm. I didn't have any issues. They cycle great. Like I said, I believe these are 30 rounds. You can actually fit more than that, maybe like 32, 33 rounds in these. But it's it's kind of pointless. You kind of run into little issues with feeding and stuff like that when you really stuff them. So I stick to 30 rounds in these. Or fuck, man, these might be 35 round mags, but I just know with these Pro Mags, I put 30 rounds in them. I lock them in. It's usually a super tight fit. Just because of the way this like magwell is and all of that. Really tight fit, but over time, you kind of work them in. It'll rub off the excess, eventually rub off a little bit of excess polymer or whatever. I've seen videos of people that kind of Dremel them down, rub them on the concrete just to kind of, to speed that process up. I normal wear and tear just got them sitting in there pretty good for me. I didn't do anything crazy like that. But yeah, man, these Pro Mags actually did the trick. Like, the few times I've taken it out, first time I took it out with the metal magazines, failed to fire, failed to feed, failed to fire, failed to feed. I mean, it was becoming annoying to the point where I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna go back to the drawing board. Second time I took it out with these, no issues, man. Like it was solid. I shot, my son shot, everything was cool. So, yeah, for shit, man, for the first time ever, like I'm recommending Pro Mag for something, and then again, if the wood, even if that's not even your MO, like if you're just like I don't give a fuck about the trench art or anything like that, you can skip that, and they have like polymer stocks that you can buy for these, where you just basically put all of this into you can get a different stock for these. I think they're from Pro Mag as well, but I know it's called like the Archangel. If you look up SKS Archangel, you'll see what I'm talking about. And I think they go from anywhere from like I've seen them as cheap as $120. I've seen them for all the way up to like $200, depending on the color and stuff like that. But if you want to modernize this, you can. I will tell you that most people look down on people that modernize these, but it's your gun. Do whatever the fuck you want to do with it. I don't care. If you're comfortable with it, then by all means. But for me, like I said, I'm a history nerd. I want it to look as old school as possible. And even to the point, like I said, I don't even like using the Pro Mag magazines with these because it gives it more of a modern look. But it functions well more than the metal magazines that would look a little bit more old school with this. You can get a cheese grater up here if you want. I did have a cheese grater on here. It was a pain in the ass to put on, and it was kind of flopping around. So I think I even I got my cheese grater here. I have my cheese grater up here. Honestly, I think it looked way cooler, but like I said, function, it didn't work. So I put the wood back on it, and yeah, man. When I can get to an outdoor range, I'm gonna take this guy back out, and my outdoor range closed, so I'm a little heartbroken. I gotta find somewhere to go shoot outside, but I'm taking this bad boy back out, and if you want to learn the basics of shooting a rifle, and you can find these for the low, or you can talk, Uncle John into letting you borrow his or selling you his, like, man, get one. They're not that hard to take apart. They're not that hard to maintain. They're rugged as fuck. And yeah, they're fun to shoot. Little heavy, but if you're just learning the basics, this is not a bad option to go with. So, like I said, just wanted to do a fun video of some of the random shit I got in my case. And yeah, this is my Chinese SKS. So, uh, get you one, or get Uncle John to sell you his. All right, man. Y'all be cool. Be safe out there.